I was working for another firm called Rim Financial, way back when. And things weren't going the way we planned they were going to go. And there's two sub-brokers at that firm, Hank Vanderwood and myself. And Hank went off and started Drake Financial out in Abbotsford. And I went off and started Nova Financial in North Vancouver. Always struggles in starting a business. Things have changed a lot since 1985. We started March 1st, 85. FICOM was a little bit different. Finances were tight. We didn't have an office. We had to rent executive office space. You got all new marketing, programming materials, even back in those days. You don't have the internet to try to promote your business like we do today. So it's all word of mouth. It's all flyers. It's all hand delivered. That was 1985. She had been a registered mortgage broker since June of 1981. We had children born in 77, 78, again in 82 and 84. And so through the early 80s, Aurora was a registered mortgage broker. She was basically doing
a lot of the paperwork for him. And I decided that it would be more lucrative to work with him than continue my role as a registered nurse, let alone the fact that I didn't have to do shift work anymore.
Yes. Yes, it can be difficult. Sometimes the work gets home, and the work should never get home.
I'm bad about taking work home with me. He's much better at keeping the stuff in the office. In fact, at times tells me, no, we're not going to talk about that in our bathroom right now.
Different rules have to apply, and some things just don't die at the office. They continue on. You've got to try to separate the office away from the home as much as you possibly can.
We don't work on a lot of the same files, so that in itself is good. Sometimes I don't like some of the spending that I see that he does, and I have give him a bit of a hard time on that. Felicity, the door was always open when she went to university. I knew that she would be really good at it. She's got a head on her like a virtual math magician. She's very, very good with numbers.
She didn't have a place to go. She was great at math. She knew a little bit about the company. I think this was just a stepping stone for her.
I had a marketing degree, and my dad said, "What are you going to do with it?" And I said, "I don't know." So he said, "Why don't you take the mortgage broker's course?" And here I am, almost 10 years later, and still doing it, and I love it.
Sure.
So, in joining the family team, I would say
Youth.
Some youth and vitality.
That my parents are now an older generation. I know more about Facebook, email newsletters, staying in contact with clients, I guess, virtually.
She doesn't have a 63-year-old mentality like I've got. Fresh blood, the internet. Things have changed, and in the 44 years since I started first in the finance business, 1972, Ethan had graduated from Thompson Rivers University with a journalism degree.
I was a full-time reporter, and there wasn't a ton of job stability. So my dad suggested to me, I should give the family business a try. And I didn't think I would like it. The first year was very tough because it's a commission job and it's competitive and you're competing against banks and that kind of thing. But once you become better at the business and better at your marketing, it ends up becoming a pretty good job and end up liking it a lot. So now I have two passions. I got the journalism on one side and then financing on the other. So I managed to do them both now.
His first love was journalism, writing books, joining newspapers.
We figured he could add some youth and vitality, the same as Felicity, and plus let alone the fact that a lot of their age group of people are now in the market, so that helps bring business in the door, or more for them obviously than for me, but at the same time it's another avenue that opens up for the company as a whole.
Added pluses from what I said about Felicity: youth, new thoughts, new ideas, different perspective. Everybody's got great ideas.
Just that I see everybody all the time, so I get, and sometimes see the grandkids when they come in to see their mom and that kind of thing. That would be the best part of it.
Is you always know where you stand with your coworkers, because when you're with your family, it's all about honesty. Whether you want to hear it or not, you're going to get it, and I love it.
It's nice to know that there's people in the office that have your back and can help you out when you're in a grind. The difference between working with a family and when I worked in other jobs is there's less of an urgency to bite your lip. When it's your own family, you can be a little bit more blunt, and the fighting is a little bit more real.
I think your expectations as a parent are a lot tougher on your family than what they are on somebody else. So, and sometimes you say things you're more blunt than what you would be with a stranger.
Sometimes Christmas can be the hardest time with family that you can ever have. And so your close proximity. The best thing we got in this office is 4 separate office doors can be closed at any point in time. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we have to be separate and be on our own. Christmas lights, we always had a great display. 7, 8 years ago, Felicity, one of my daughters, my other daughter, Tanya, basically challenged me to see if I could do better. I love challenges. I'm always up to challenges. At Boxing Day, I spent, it was in excess of $6,000 in Boxing Day sales.
And it just grew every year. And my dad's a very passionate person, and when he wants to do something, he does it to the max, and that's where the Christmas lights are today.
Well, I didn't start it, that's for sure. I essentially just put everything together. John and our daughters all went out shopping, and it gradually grew. Boxing Day sales, that kind of thing. And so now I start in September, putting everything together. He fixes them, and then all the kids come out and put them out for the month of November.
We've always had more lights than our neighbors would have liked growing up, and a couple of years ago it got really carried away, and we noticed people start driving by the house all the time. And I like to think it was me who suggested to get the donation bin out front.
I got no idea how many lights we have. We don't even put out all the lights every year. We create the display up to where we think it's filled, and then we stop. There's many boxes or bins that don't ever come out in any given year. Last year was our best year ever, 17,500 nearly in cash, and 207 bags of grocery items for the people that need it, being the Harvest Project here, and the other half the cash went to the Giza. I'm a Shriner, and to transport children to hospitals.
Between me and my brother, I thought that there might be more competitiveness between us. I mean, of course, well, no. If anything, if I see him getting a lot of business done, I'm happy for him.
Jokingly, yes, but not at all. No, we're basically, we have our own files, but we're colleagues and partners in this business.
I would say it makes me appreciate my parents more because they started this business, and it allowed my brother and I to be able to step in and get our foots into an industry that's very competitive.
Success, you always live off somebody else's success. And somebody has a great day, sometimes you're having a bad day. And the next person is having that great day, it might bring up the day that you're not having.
We get to joke around, we get to see each other more than most people get to see their family. It's a lot more fun. I have someone to have lunch with. I have someone to complain to when things aren't going well, and someone who understands your profession.